All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are live on Radio Road, day 4. Darren Smith hosted the ship on Fox Sports Radio, KLKC 106.7 FM, 1540. I have a very special guest. Of course, you have heard him call games. Now, you might have heard him call Chiefs games this season because
Yes, prime time. They're out of our hands pretty much.
Man, I tell everybody all the time. But I'm joined by Fox's NFL broadcaster, Chris Myers, who was on Radio Road today to talk about Synergen X and Low T Center testosterone and weight loss clinics. Now, I like that weight loss.
Yes, that's but it is just for you. Don't worry. We could all use it. It's really more about energy and your testosterone levels. And the quick reminder is synergenx.com or lowtcenter.com. And what's good about this is your testosterone therapy for each of us is not the same. So you need a company that will test and personalize, and they will do that at the clinic. There's different ways, and they'll make sure you get the kind of therapy and support that you need to increase those levels. It's really more about not only weight loss, but your energy to kind of live the kind of life. And even if you're not somebody who's very athletic or obviously I travel quite a bit, so the wear and tear, it's very helpful in that regard. But you have to have the right, your local doctor is one thing, but they will personalize and customize this for you after a visit and help map it out for you. And then you can kind of help make decisions with them. So go to synergenx.com or lowtcenter.com. Find a place near you where they'll help locate and connect one for you.
Now, how did you get involved with that? Because generally, as you say, especially with your travels, I know I travel a lot, especially during the football season. So at times trying to work out and, diet and stuff like that, kind of gets them, especially during the football season, gets them.
It's hard to,
all they do is just put food in front of you in
right.
the press box. But so how did you end up getting involved with this organization?
Well, a few years ago is when I heard about it. And you talk about different hours. You try to stay on a consistent schedule. It's tough when you're traveling in time zones and you don't have a lot of time, recovery time. So the wear and tear, I was just feeling a little run down, a little tired. And they talked about this program. And, I talked to my doctor and that type of thing. And, I just didn't want to use something artificial. You try vitamins, those types of things. The first thing and the most important thing is get your testosterone level checked. And then you'll know what you need to do. Sometimes it's not that, but that's why a Low T Center will help you figure that out. And then at least in a natural as you can with your body or your health situation, increase that energy and that testosterone level. And they make it easy. They do a lot of the work for you. And some of the healthcare providers will coordinate that with insurance as well, depending upon your situation.
And personally for you, how successful has it been for you?
Yeah, I would say, it's helped tremendously. I mean, the energy level, and I think of people, for age is just a number. And I think once you get this and experience this, you realize the difference. And so when you're on the go so much, you still have to eat right, try to exercise and do the kinds of things. But some people are out there fanatical about it. This is just making sure your testosterone levels are where they need to be. You don't want to overdo it, but you can't underdo it or your energy drops. But yes, it's been what I like is the customized, personalized service, because not all things work the same for everybody, and all of our levels are a little bit different in our lifestyles.
And for the people who were curious, trust me, this man was running around all around this media row yesterday, and of course, as he told me before we came on, he said, "Man, I saw you here working."
Yeah, we were working late. But I did want to mention I didn't get to call a Chiefs game this year. However, for Fox, the Super Bowl in Miami, when we had that broadcast, I was on the Chiefs sideline as the network broadcast the game. Aaron Andrews had the 49ers sideline with Troy Aikman in the booth with Joe Buck, and I got to when it was that great comeback, like that whole playoff run back then. And so you get access to the team and the meetings. You talk to Mahomes and Kelsey and Andy Reid without all the cameras, and I could sense then that core group, Spagnuolo too, really, that's kind of, as other things have changed, that they were special. But I got to say, I'm really impressed with the fact that, I mean, this is a dynasty already, regardless of what happened Sunday, and Mahomes and Reid are really the key to it. But I to do it in this day and age, to have the kind of success that they're having and to win the close games, that was magical. And I always cherish that moment of Andy Reid's first Super Bowl win, his wife there celebrating, and then Patrick, Mahomes coming over to kind of congratulate him and just be in the middle of all that. It was like I was in the party. So obviously I've kept a close eye and have enjoyed their success from afar, or at least admired how they've been able to do it.
We're joined by Chris Myers live on the Radio Row here in New Orleans, Louisiana. This is day 4 for us down here at the Convention Center. Speaking of the Chiefs and, of course, the Eagles in this game, from your vantage point, from your point of view, maybe I'm too close because I cover the team every day, but how have you seen from their first run in Miami to now the growth of Mahomes and Kelsey and Chris Jones and Spags and Andy Reid, that core group from Miami to now.
Well, I'm amazed that as they get a little older, they seem to. One thing I've noticed from just watching them, even in the playoffs, they've paced themselves a little bit better, right? I mean, not that they're giving anything up during the year, but that's how they've been able to win close games. I think Spagnuolo has designed the defense, and he's had to juggle a lot of the personnel, and they have two number one picks that are starting, right? Karlaftis, it makes the rest of the tower. So that's why he knows when they get to the fourth quarter or late in the game, however they're close to, then you see, it's almost like he's ready. He's already got a checklist. We're going to blitz here. We're going to do this. And then Mahomes also doesn't have to carry the team on his back as much until it gets to the fourth quarter at a one score. And then you see him run a little more. You see him do some different things, maybe use Kelsey if they took him away a little bit earlier. So that's what I've noticed. I think so when I say pace themselves, I think they've just been able to adjust themselves. They have to have their best energy when it matters most, and that's hard to do because you want to start out with your best, and you'd love to blow a team out if you could, but as we know, and that's why I'm afraid to dare pick against them, because every time, I don't care who they're playing, every time it looks like somebody has them beat, something happens here, a kick's missed there, and they're ready to go. And I know Mahomes will do everything in his power with all four downs to get them in position for a field goal or a touchdown.
I like to talk about Spags a lot, and Spags' reputation when he first came to Kansas City was that his defense is complex, and it takes a while for a defense to learn. And generally, rookies don't start in his in his defense. Juan Thornton, I believe, was the first rookie to start in Spags' system when he came to Kansas City in 2019. I look at it as you talked about, McDuffie and Karlaftis, but even players such as Chris Jones when he was here,
been the staple.
Well, a couple of things, and I tell you this secret sauce. One, Spags is still here. The fact that that nobody has signed him up as a head coach is a detriment to other teams, but a credit to the Chiefs for him to be able to stay. But the thing is, as complex as the defense has been, players, when they come in, especially, the rookies the last 2-3 years, it's the only system that they know. So they don't have to learn, a Rex Ryan or somebody else's defense coming in. And so year in and year out, the players that have been in the system all this time, Spags can just call something and they know it right off the bat. So it's not like he has to teach them all over again, except for, the rookies that are coming in that need to learn the system. But because of the veteran presence that's there, they can coach him out there on the field. So to me, it makes the defense easier for Spags to call because he's got so many veterans that know what he wants and what he likes. And with Nick Bolton out there calling the plays for him, it makes it real simple. Would you tend to agree with that?
Yeah, I would. And I think he relates to the players in the sense that he knows what their strength is, and he doesn't put them in a position to try to do something that they don't do well or that they aren't comfortable with doing. And I'll say this too.
The only thing he will do is leave those corners out on the island.
Yeah, which sometimes he has to do to get more of a pass rush. And that's I was just saying, this is a key in this game because you need to stop Barkley.
Yeah.
And also Jalen Hurts can run. He might have so you're going to do that. So how much are you going to gamble in the secondary? And I know the receivers of the Eagles are very talented, but can Hurts get them the ball? And that's what, when I want to go back to Spags for a moment, because I covered a little bit when he was a head coach with the Giants.
Yeah.
And again, different circumstances. And I've seen this a lot, Darren, where through the years covering the NFL, that some guys are great coordinators. They're just, a head coach is a different animal. And it's not that they're bad at anything. They're just not good at that executive type of and knowing their position. So he's happy in Kansas City. He loves it there. They're paying him well. He's having success. Why go do that to some, he's over that. He's had that dream of that head coach. He's living the dream right now with Kansas City, and he's always great to talk to. But yes, he's had to be very creative. And every time I think the defense can get run over or give up a lot of points, well, obviously Kansas City, the offense will lift them up. But I've seen him improve as a coach too, and as a coordinator, some of the elements that you just talked about. And you don't have to have star players to kind of do the kinds of things that he's going to do. But I'll be fascinated to see, because if he goes back and looks at what this Eagle team, has done, their defense is much better, and their offensive line is talented. How's he going to stop that? How's he going to, is he crowding the line, or will he let him run, and then just keep them out of the end zone and say, I know our guys will get 6 and they can settle for 3?
Before we get you out of here, your prediction for Sunday's game.
Yeah, I've said this. I look on paper. This is no offense because I know you're, but I think the talent level in the trenches, especially that Philadelphia and the Eagles have put together, they almost win at every position. Maybe not tight end. That's it with Dallas Goedert and Kelsey still got game, but they don't win at the two most important positions where the Chiefs have the edge, and that's head coach and quarterback. And that's where Andy Reid and Mahomes, I think, ultimately, Eagles might, they match up well in areas. I think they'll have success moving the ball. I just think if it's a one-score game, and I expect it to be, it was 2 years ago, that the Chiefs will pull it out, whether it's a blitz package by Spagnuolo or whether it's a Mahomes scrambling to set them up for a game-winning field goal or something like that. So, yeah, I see it close, but I see the Chiefs ultimately winning and making history. And not only 3 straight Super Bowl, but that would be 18 straight one-score games, which is, to me, that's got to be some kind of record in the history books.
Chris Myers, I want to thank you for your time. I know you got more interviews to do. I appreciate you gracing us with just a little bit of your time today, and look forward to seeing you this week.
No, I enjoyed it. I appreciate your hard work, too. You hang in there. Get some rest. Okay.
After they win.
This, after the Super Bowl.
Chris Myers joined us right here on Radio Row. We'll be back after this timeout. We'll have Rod Woodson and Sean Alexander coming up in the next hour.